Over the past week, SHIB has had a fantastic run, so I want to take a look at it now, perform some technical analysis and make some predictions on where we can expect to see the price of SHIB go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video, and today we're taking another look at SHIB. And as I mentioned in my last SHIB video, whilst yes, I have sold my SHIB to pursue other investments, I am instead going to continue to make these SHIB analysis videos because I think it is a fantastic crypto and I know you guys love the TA. So I'll continue doing that, and today we're going to do our usual thing, perform our technical analysis using various indicators in order to make some predictions on where we can expect to see SHIB go in the near future. But before we get into all that good stuff, guys, please remember to leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy today's video. And of course, if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. And I'd also love to hear what you did in the latest SHIB run. Did you accumulate more? Did you sell your position? Or have you simply been holding? Let me know down in the comments section below. But without any further ado, let's jump straight into today's analysis. Welcome into the SHIB chart, guys. If you're looking to buy SHIB or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links in the description of today's video. But what a run SHIB has had. Wow, just look at that. Absolutely fantastic. You can see it went down here from about 820 all the way up to 3531. That is an incredible run, and many people would have made a few bags off that at least. I'd love to know as well, of course, are you still holding it? Have you sold it? Let us know down in the comments. But let's go into the hourly chart now to do some further analysis. It's just going to be easier with the volume of data that we're basically seeing right now in order to do so. Something that's very interesting is the patterns that you consistently see as we climbed up. They were basically flag patterns. So they're looking a bit like that. Obviously poor drawing, but you get the gist. You're seeing the same thing consecutively all the way up. And what that is big spikes followed by consolidation, which is a very, very bullish pattern. Unfortunately, our third spike didn't result in a similar thing, and it did drop. And it dropped quite significantly all the way down to 2054 roughly. I believe myself, I got out over at this point here at roughly 23 or 22. And it did briefly drop below that point, but then shot back up, which is absolutely awesome. And it is sitting above that point still now at 2424. So what sort of a pattern has formed in this circumstance? Well, we can't really draw a flag pattern on this. And the reason for that is due to the fact that we've had too much of a big drop here. It's just dropped. There's no flag that has formed, and the trend then wavered back up. So you can't really establish a flag pattern from that. What we can establish though is a triangle. And in fact, it looks like what we're seeing right now is known as a descending triangle. So the top angle is going in that sort of a manner. And then given that we've had so much price action bouncing off this point now at about 2538, 2540, I'm just gonna grab that one, chuck a line in there, and basically that is our triangle, which is forming itself from a, I suppose, price action perspective. Now, what has just happened literally within the past hour or two, and something that hadn't happened when I first looked at this today, is it looks like we've dropped out of this symmetrical triangle. Now, one of two things is going to occur. The first of which is we're going to see this quickly bounce back up and come back into the triangle pattern. But if that does not occur, it means we've broken down, and a descending triangle, unfortunately, is typically a pattern which is quite bearish. So, given that I like to be real with you guys, where do we think this could go? Well, it's going to go to the next point of support. So if we start moving downwards, you can see that point of support I'd suggest is probably at about here. You can see there's plenty of price action that has touched this point, 2158 roughly. I'll extend that down over that way, and you can see the price, if it does drop sharply, is likely to drop to that point and test it. Ideally, what we're hoping to see then is it bounces off that point and starts moving in an upwards direction, however that works, breaks back into this triangle and basically forms, I suppose, a bit of a trading channel. So you can see plenty of trading action has occurred within this time frame here. You can see that if we started having a bit of consolidation in that manner, absolutely fantastic. But if that does not occur, it's going to go down and it's going to test this point. Then it's going to drop through again and test your next point of support. And your next major point of support's roughly, I'd suggest, about at this point 1840 odd. I'd say that's where worst case scenario SHIB is going. Target for today's video is at, unfortunately, this 2169, 2170 point. Ideally though, we're hoping for a bounce and going back up to this point here at 2540. But let's bring in a few more indicators in order to establish exactly where we are sitting. So we're going to have our 20-day short-term moving average. We've got some extra bits and pieces popping up here. I'll just minimize that, apologies. I'll bring in as well our 50-day moving average, make that one red just so it's a bit more clear. And of course, I'll bring in our longer term 200-day moving average if it's available, which it is. Now, a few more things have occurred. We've just seen a death cross of the 20-day moving average cross below the 200-day moving average. We also saw it cross below the 50-day moving average as well. That 50-day moving average itself is also moving towards the 200-day moving average. If that cross occurs, that spells major disaster for SHIB in the short term. Ideally, what we want to see is a bounce from the price action here, come up and then hopefully get above these points, but it doesn't look like that's going to occur because of this. And I'd suggest this cross right here is why we saw such a sharp drop in the price over here. And now, I suppose just for those listening along, our 20-day moving average is at 2695, 50-day at 2807, and our 200-day at 2775. So you can get a picture of exactly what's going on. Interestingly enough though, as we have been dipping, the volume has been decreasing. So that means people aren't really dumping. So I'd suggest a lot of you are watching that video, you're still probably holding, and it shows from the volume based on what's been going on there. Now, let's bring in some more indicators. The MACD, get us an idea of the EMAs. You can see we've had an extended period of red here, obviously on the hourly. I wouldn't be surprised if we are now due to see that shift, although due to the large dip that we've just seen here, these EMAs have sharply moved in a downwards direction. So I don't think we're going to see a cross anytime soon. We might get down to these levels that we saw over here before we see it cross up. So I really think it's moving towards now this point at 2170 before we see an increase in the value once again. Volumes also appear to be increasing slightly as a result of, I suppose, a few people offloading their SHIB. I'll also finally bring in now the RSI. Now I can imagine as we go back, the RSI would have gone crackers on this run, which it did, moved into overbought territory. It is now saying it is oversold, 2407. Ideally, you don't want to be in that position. It's a lot harder to come back from oversold than it is to come back from overbought. And once something's oversold, people start to panic. Trading is all about psychology, so you need to understand what people are going to do when they see certain indicators. So it's dipped below the 30 point and people are going to panic. In saying that though, it is saying it's oversold. So that means if there was some big buying momentum to come in, there is plenty of room for this coin to start moving quite sharply upwards in a very, very quick manner. But keep an eye on exactly what's going on, guys. Make sure you are careful, conserve your capital. You can see we're seeing a little bit of bounce here going on literally right now and happening quite quickly because I think people are realizing it's a lot cheaper than it was a day or two ago. So we could be seeing a bounce. I hope for holders' sake we're seeing a bounce, but be careful. If you can't afford to lose the money, take out your initial capital and just free carry. That is the best way. But the target for today's video is a bounce off this line right here at 2170 and then bounce all the way up hopefully to 2539. That wraps up the analysis for today's video. Now, please bear in mind, I'm just giving this to you guys as a warning. Conserve your capital. Make sure you're making the right decisions for yourself. I'm never going to tell you guys what to do. I'm merely here to help you guys make some more educated decisions. But I'd love to know your thoughts on SHIB down in the comments section below. Have you bought more? Have you sold? Are you still holding? What is your situation? And of course, if you did enjoy today's analysis, please remember to leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. But I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.